Now, there is a little bit of wiggle room in that comment from Vrabel. Maybe it's gamesmanship or what have you. But as of today, we'd expect him to be out there on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, couple that with something Curran said yesterday that caught my ear, where he's like, yeah, Diggs isn't playing 17 games. And I'm like...
You think he's talking right off the rip?
Well, it's just a weird thing to say when you're like...
Or are you just thinking old guy coming off an injury?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm kicking myself for not asking a follow-up after Curran said that. Well, I was like,
Fell asleep?
I thought about it, and then I moved on to... I don't even remember what it was, but I should have asked.
I think he's played week one.
Sunday. I think
so.
Sunday. I think so too. But don't you agree? There's some wiggle room in that comment.
Is,
and we get an injury report today.
Yeah.
What if he's a limited participant?
Limited. I think he's still playing.
You think that's still manageable?
Out, I would say eyeball raise.
Okay.
Yeah. If he's out, not my eyeballs. I guess my eyebrows.
Oh, both.
Say my eyeballs, right? If he's out, so Diggs and Gonzalez are the two that I think everybody's going to be looking at. See, all right, what's going on with these guys? Gonzalez, it feels like probably not great. Gonzalez, I'd be shocked.
I'll be stunned if he has any participation today.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And we'll get to him coming up.
But those would be the two of note.
Something Curran did answer that we actually asked him about yesterday.
Yeah, but Diggs, I don't know. Maybe I read that answer as just sort of, a 30-plus-year-old guy coming off an ACL, maybe the wear and tear. Maybe he won't be out there every week, just sort of, wondering the durability of it. But it does leave the door open to maybe he means, maybe it's off to a slow start. But no, I think the plan was to not play him in the preseason games. He participated in more practices during camp than I certainly would have envisioned. And he even had the little back and forth with Diana Rossini, which sort of felt like, all right, maybe he's just playing coy with it. Vrabel's had some odd answers when it comes to Steph Diggs, but I do think he's playing something.
Angry answers.
And some kind of snappy.
Phil, you stupid idiot.
Yeah, you dumb. What are you even doing up here?
Where'd you go to college?
Yeah, how'd you even find your way here? So that was unnecessary, but I think Diggs plays.
Now, Vrabel talks today at 12:25. He's normally a little early, so I'd stick around for Vrabel. Coming your way a little over an hour from now here on Jones and Keefe. You'll hear it live. In fairness, Diggs is also scheduled to talk today, so
that's usually a good sign. Not a lot of injured guys
They
talk.
probably don't make him available to talk if he's not going to play. But I'm curious your expectations, not even for Diggs this year, which I want to get to in a moment, but how about Diggs for Sunday? Let's say he's out there on the field, meaning. What do you expect to see out of him? How much will he be out there? What sort of production level do you expect? What do you think we get from Diggs on Sunday?
I think if you want to give me some stats, I'd go 5 for 60 and 70% of the snaps on offense.
I definitely agree with that number.
Okay.
Something like 65, 70% of the snaps.
Because they don't run.
He's not going to be a full-time player.
I don't think he's going to be, at least early on, and maybe even ever, on the field for every snap. And then also, if there's some sort of rotation, I think, if 5 receivers are active for the game, I bet they all play. Maybe Kyle Williams plays sparingly, but maybe they run a couple of deep routes with him or something like that. I think Booty and Pop Douglas are going to play a decent amount, and I think Mac Hollins will be out there. So we've seen early on with Josh McDaniels, there's going to be a lot of 2 tight ends out there. There might be 2 backs out there. So there's not 3-4 wide all the time. So that's why I think it might be closer to 70 or even less than 70% right off the rip. But I think it's a game. It's a real game. I think Drake May is going to target him. I think it's going to look closer to the first couple of days of camp. He's going to be out there, and I think he's going to be somewhat productive because, honestly, 5 for 60 doesn't jump out. You're like, whoa, number 1 wide receiver. But you add that up over the year, that's a good season. That would hit the over 750 yards receiving for the year. That would hit the whatever his receptions total number is as well. So, yeah, I think you'll notice him. That's my hope is you'll notice him on Sunday.
I'm looking at his debuts at all of his various stops. Now, none of them was he coming off a knee injury, but I just looked this up. His first start in 2015 or appearance didn't come until October when he was a rookie with the Vikings.
Yeah, 5th-round pick.
He went 6 catches, 87 yards, 10 targets.
Productive,
very, very productive.
Oh yeah, what do you think for targets? Maybe that's a good question too. That's sort of like a Drake May, Josh McDaniels question. 7? I'd take 7 targets.
I was going to go 5 or 6, 7 or 8.
5 or 6.
I was going to take 6. I was going to take that whole range.
Okay, 5, 6, 7, or 8.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a. Did you see Brian Hoyer's win prediction yesterday on WEI Afternoons?
No.
I think he said between 8 and 11.
Jesus.
Which I said I was going to take myself between 0 and 17.
So below 500 or playoff team.
I was going to take between 0 and 17 personally,
Wait,
but between 8 and 11, I thought was a pretty bold take.
So he took 4 different win totals? He took 8, 9, 10, and 11? Does he get credit for that if that hits?
Definitely.
Yeah, I remember Hoyer had him for 8 wins. So we also had him for 11 and 10
He had
and
him
9.
for 8 to 11 wins?
I guess.
Hang on. Win total should be somewhere between 8 and 11 games.
Okay, so an early would you rather? Would you rather somebody predict 4 different win totals or no win totals?
Oh, I'd rather not hear their
Just
win
not
total.
even hear it.
Yeah,
Be like,
give me
you know
4.
what? I abstained courteously.
I'm
not going to give you a win total. I can see them 8 to 11. Yeah, the over/under is 8.5.
Yeah.
So you're taking slightly over and slightly under.
Yeah, he's got
and a couple more higher than that as well.
He's covered all his bases.
That's an insane prediction.
Honestly, if you could get any 4-game range, I'd probably go 7 to 10 personally. But 8 to 11 is a good range.
My final prediction on this is they'll either be a playoff team or they won't be a playoff team. That's the last thing I'm going to say about the 2025 Patriots.
Nick, clip this, please. Yeah. They will win between 0 and 17 games.
Come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
I didn't want to go so
Save
bold.
it for Friday.
That was like
good point.
There was a really witty graphic that was making the rounds earlier. It was best and worst case scenario for all 32 teams, and it was all over 17 or 17-0.
Nice.
I was like,
when we did a best
smart.
case and a worst case for the Pats, we got a bunch of texts about that, actually.
I think our best case, worst case, was similar to Hoyer's prediction, actually.
Yeah.
It was like 6 to 11.
That's just his prediction.
Right.
Best and worst case.
So what did Hart and those guys say? Like, good one.
Great question.
Yeah, we'll put you down for that.
They had a bit of a Tommy Curran follow-up, I think, is what it was.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah,
Good stuff. We'll put you down for that. You're certainly going to win our pool this year.
In his first start with the Bills, 8 catches, 9 targets, 86 yards.
Okay. Would you say 86 in the first game, too? Or did you say 85?
Ooh, good question. Hang on.
Didn't you just say it was right around there?
6 for 87.
So you went 87, 86.
His Houston debut, not as productive in some ways. 6 for 33, but he did have 2 touchdowns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Take that.
I mean, fantasy-wise, that's a big fantasy.
2 touchdowns.
2 tugs?
I'll take that. That means Drake May threw 2 touchdowns in the first game, so that'd be a promising start.
He was targeted 6 times there. So 6, 9, 10 were his targets in his 3 debuts.
Okay, ready? I think he's going to have 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 targets.
Somewhere between 3 and 12.
Does he lead the team in targets? Would be another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I think he should. I mean, we'll see Pop Douglas, Kayshon Boutte. I wouldn't be surprised if early on those 3 guys have sort of similar targets. Maybe not, Sunday, but the first 4 weeks when you look at it and you're like, all right, are those guys all around 25, 30 total targets over 4 games? And then from there, maybe you realize, hey, Steph Diggs really has it. Steph Diggs is fine. And then he sort of elevates himself from everybody else. Or you're like,
yeah, I'm now in wait-and-see mode with Diggs where I think he's going to be productive this year, but I kind of want to see it because you weren't seeing it at the end of training camp by all accounts. The joint practices, he was mostly invisible. So I'd take the under on even your project. What'd you say, 5 and 60?
Yeah, 5 catches, 60 yards.
I would take the under on that.
Damn.
Meanwhile, I thought this was interesting. NBC Sports Boston, Curran and Phil Perry did a number of predictions for the Patriots this year, like season-long predictions. For instance, will Travion Henderson lead all Patriots running backs in touches?
Yes.
I also think yes.
Yes.
We both agree with Phil. Disagree with Tom. Will Drake May exceed 500 rushing yards this year? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, we also agree with Phil and disagree with Tom.
Whoa, Tom's under 500 yards rushing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How didn't he have like 400 something last year?
He did.
In like limited time?
He predicts 487, so he was right.
Okay.
Will the Patriots have 3 or more Pro Bowlers? Yes or no?
No.
No, we both agree with Phil again and disagree with Tom.
Wow, get Tom back on the air.
Well, the Patriots,
a lot of disagreement.
Well, the real spoiler here is those 2 didn't agree on anything.
Pro Bowlers. Are we going to do this on Friday?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Okay,
yeah,
so
maybe
we'll
we
save
should.
it.
We should
Save
steal
it.
it. Top 10 defense was a question. Will they make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
Top 10 defense.
They also gave predictions for Steph Diggs. Will he have more than 750 receiving yards?
That's the Vegas over/under. I say yes.
So
or over.
This is one. This is one they both agreed on. They both said yes, but not by much. Neither of them took 1,000 yards. They both took right around 800.
Remember we used to do over/unders on the old show?
Yes.
And you'd always answer them yes, no. And we're like, what do you mean? You mean over or under? Yes. Like, okay, then forget it.
Sometimes they're confusing though too.
If
it's like a rank, it's like a rank, you're like over under 2.5. That can get confusing.
So I did this before, and so if he plays 17 games, and that's a big if. Curran's already sort of alluded to the fact maybe he doesn't.
Curran said he will not.
So that factors into this. But if he plays 17 games, 750 yards is 44 yards a game. Like, he should average more than 44 yards a game.
Yeah. I mean, he's never...
I mean, I'm sure there'll be the occasional game where he ends with, 25-30, but then there should be the other game, like, he can't have 100 yards in a game? That's not that crazy.
So he played in 8 games last year. He's trending for a 1,000-yard season. He played in 8 games last year.
Yeah.
So toss that if you want.
All right.
Other than that, he had played in at least 13 games in every season of his career. He had reached 800 yards or more every season except his rookie year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think if he's out there, he should hit that number. But I don't know. I don't know if I feel as bullish on 1,000. But maybe by the end of September, I'll regret that. And he'll be well on his pace for that. You can discuss 617-779-7937, your expectations for Diggs this year, and specifically on Sunday. I'm taking more of a wait-and-see approach than Keefe is. Although I would say I don't think you're like super bullish. 5 for 60 is not overly bullish.
No, it's like slightly above average as far as like if you think he's going to get to 750 yards receiving. Like I think even if you're taking the over, that's not like this guy's going to have a monster season and like what a true number one. Like the 1,000-yard receiver drought that this team is in is probably going to continue. Like I don't know if any of their guys have 1,000 yards this year.
I think like the first or second day of training camp, I was like, that streak is over.
Yeah, they might have 3 guys.
Now I'm not sure about it.
No.
Meanwhile, as we said, we talked to Tommy Curran yesterday. He gave an interesting answer about Christian Gonzalez, who I don't expect to see on the field on Sunday against the Raiders. We'll have more details on that when Vrabel speaks about an hour from now, and also when the injury report comes out. But I wouldn't brace for much good news there on Gonzalez. Here's what Curran had to say yesterday about Gonzo.
Whether they blame Christian Gonzalez for it or not, seemed like Mike really labored to make sure that he was not misunderstood as being frustrated during yesterday's press conference. He used the word frustrated. Andrew Callahan from the Herald circled back and said, "Are you frustrated with Gonzalez?" Said, "No, thank you for allowing me. I just used the word frustrated in terms of Christian becoming frustrated with himself." So maybe they're not frustrated to an extent of what's he doing over there. It's more perhaps we really wish that player was available and he's not. But to me, there's the difference between 100% and good to go. And good to go might be less than 100%. And if Christian Gonzalez is better than Alex Austin at 85%, and I don't even know that he's 85%. We're not getting injury reports. We're not having the opportunity. They're not talking about injuries with us. That hasn't changed. So that's the question: is Christian Gonzalez waiting till he's 100%, or is he going to be blood and guts? Once I can get out there, I just put a splint on it. I'll run around with that on. I kind of highly doubt that.
Okay, he doesn't sound fully sold that Gonzo's pushing it, redlining it to get back out there. So here's I think my stance on Gonzalez, and let's play it out. He's 85%, not 100%. I'm actually okay with Gonzalez missing this game if he's at 85%. We talked about this briefly yesterday. I don't think the Raiders is the biggest key matchup for him. Jacoby Myers and big fat Amari Cooper.
Yeah, it's not getting it done.
And their number one weapon in the passing game is a tight end in Brock Bowers.
Right.
So I don't think they need him for this game. If they want to err on the side of caution and say, you haven't had a camp, you're not 100%, soft tissue injury, we don't want a setback, take another week, I'm actually okay with that. If he's 85%, to use Curran's number, and he isn't going to go out there and suit up against Miami, I'm less okay with that. Like, I'd like him back.
Him way more in that game.
I'd like him back for week 2 if he is good to go. Again, using Curran's phrasing there. Mm-hmm. He's good to go, but he's not 100%. I'm much more okay with him missing this week than next week. If you want to keep a little in reserve and be as close to 100% as possible going into the Dolphins game, fine. But if you're good to go and cleared to play, and you're holding yourself out, I'm not going to be okay with that against Miami.
Well, of course. And then you also don't want it to be one of those things where you're in 1 week, you're out the next week, you're in 1 week, out the easiest thing to do would be just keep preparing for it and even kind of, if possible, set week 2 as the target. And just sort of take your time right now. Don't worry about trying to rush things and get everything out there because the hamstrings can obviously linger, get reactivated, or a lot of times you see guys coming off a hamstring injury too soon, and then it's something else, like something worse, like Achilles or whatever it might be. So, yeah, you're not going to be – you obviously want him out there. He is your best player, and he and Davis should be one of the best duos in the league at that position. And not to say that there won't be a play on Sunday where you're like, damn it. Like, great play by Gino, and you're like, if Gonzo is out there, maybe it's different. But overall – you're going to need him more in week 2 and a bunch of matchups later on in the year.
In theory, you should be in a better spot. You're going to be more I think, well coached on defense. Though last year, week 1 against the Bengals, they looked very well coached on defense. They had some fluky plays go their way, fumbles going into the end zone, things like this. But they looked well coached for a week on defense last year. But they should be more well coached on that side of the ball. Vrabel's got a better scheme, I think, than Mayo, who had no scheme. And furthermore, I think they have more talent on that side of the ball, plus specifically Carlton Davis. Like, you didn't have a corner like that last year if Gonzalez would have missed time.
No.
So you should be in a better spot to piece it together for a week. But if he's making a business decision, he's holding himself back because he's good to go, but he's not 100%, and he's waiting to be 100%, I'm okay with that for a week. They need him back for that Miami game if he's cleared, and he's the one more holding himself back than the other way around. Hard to know. I mean, we don't know all the details on that, but with Curran's chirping, some of the things Phil said as well, I'm starting to get curious if Gonzalez, never mind what Vrabel said at the beginning of camp before he was even hurt, bringing up his contract out of the blue, I'm starting to wonder if there's more to it than just a tweaked hamstring.